So when you're broke, and the only thing you can do about it is fix it, okay? Now, a very wise man once told me, my professor, he also was the owner of a multiple CVSs. The guy had a lot of money. He told me once, Tommy, I don't like motivational stuff, the talks, the videos, because a lot of them, they don't really have any physical, actionable steps to actually take to change your circumstances. So it's like having somebody blow up your butt and then it feels good, but nothing happens. Now, I don't know where he got that information. I can't confirm any of that stuff that he just said, but overall, what I will say is, it's very true. If you watch a very motivational video, you get all hyped up, and then you don't know where to start, what's the point of watching it? That's why in this video right here, I'm gonna give you 7 concrete reasons to why you're broke and how to go ahead and fix it. Now, before you click off the video saying, Tommy, I got some money, I ain't broke, the answer is, if you're scared about not working for 3 months because you can't pay the bills, you're broke. If you don't have 1 to 3 times your annual salary in the bank, you're broke, okay? If you have a negative net worth, you're broke. That's the idea. That's the truth. So stick around to the end of the video. On top of that, also smash the like button. I appreciate it a ton. And if you're new here, subscribe. Because aside from talking about this, I'll also tell you more about investing in passive income in this channel. Plus, we have a goal to hit 500K by the end of the year, so support the channel and also subscribe. Now, the very first reason why you're broke is because, simple, you don't understand money. And if you don't understand something, how can you expect to dominate it and to accumulate it and to basically make it while you sleep? The answer is you can't. A lot of people want more of this, but money is just paper. It is not important whatsoever. Now, overall, what is important is what money actually represents. And money represents the exchange of goods and services. It's why, for example, when you're trying to pay your rent, you don't got to come in with like 10 cows and 2 sheep to basically pay the landlord. No, you come in with money because we've all agreed on the value of this piece of paper. Now, overall, this basically means something very simple. If you're not happy with the amount of money you're making, you have to change the level of services you actually are capable of actually giving and providing to the marketplace. Basically saying, okay, it's all about your level of skills. If you work at McDonald's and you're wondering, why don't I make more money? Because a high school kid can do that job. If you work in an office and after 2 days, you're like, yo, I know how to do everything here. That's why you don't make that much money, because it's so easy to do your job. But if you have a high level skill, whether it's in sales, whether it's in accounting and finance, economics, being a doctor, being a lawyer, being a mechanic, if you have a service that people need, the average person cannot do, usually you're going to get paid a lot of money, or a lot more than the average person basically gets. You don't need to make an extreme amount of money, because at that point, usually it will require an extreme amount of effort. And it's all based on what you want out of life. But again, it's not about money. It's about goods and services. So the only way to start making more money is to start basically giving away services. Basically meaning, hey, you have to provide a service in order to get compensated for it. It's how it works. Stop worrying about the dollar, worry about the service and what you're giving and providing to other people. That's the key. Now, number 2 here is you don't understand time. The government thinks, for example, in 4-year cycles, because every 4 years we get a new president. Most people think in week cycles, because every single week they get a paycheck and they live paycheck to paycheck. And the average person always thinks that, hey, you know what I have? A lot of time on my hands. But in reality, we only think we have a lot of time because we don't know how much time we actually have left. If that sinks into your brain, you'll change your whole life today. How much time are you spending, for example, watching TV? How much time do you spend in a job getting paid, for example, a salary that's not equal to what you want to get paid? And on top of that, a salary that's not enough for you to actually be able to multiply your money. Now, overall, if I gave you an idea here and think for a second, because most people, they're very impatient when it comes to the accumulation of money, meaning they want to make money right now very quickly. But they're willing to spend 8 hours on a day on TV every single day, and they don't worry about that time that's going by. Time is going to pass either way, so you might as well do what you have to do to accumulate the money. Overall, if you gave me $1, and I promised you one thing, here it is, yeah, I have $1 here. If you gave me $1, and every single year I gave you 12 cents for this dollar that you basically gave me, okay? Is that a good investment? The answer is that's a 12% return. That's actually a very good investment. How do I know? Because I compare it to what I would get for free by basically just investing into a treasury note, not really free, but basically risk-free, and that's like 3%. Inflation is like 3%. Tax is like 1%. Fees, 1%. So overall, after all that cost, me getting paid 12% overall is actually a very good investment. If I promise you, hey, you give me $1, I'll give you 3%, the answer is that's terrible, right? So the idea is when it comes to money, you have to think long term. Getting 12% of your money, for example, with an S&P 500, and you're basically putting your money into your retirement, that's gonna grow over time. Basically saying, hey, I'm gonna put $10,000, $20,000 into a proper career that's going to enable me to be able to make a lot more money. That's also a good investment. This lady changed my life forever. I was in college at the time, and she told me, I'm studying to be a lawyer. And I was like, that's so much time. Isn't that crazy? And she said, Tommy, time is going to pass either way. So I might as well spend it doing something that's actually worth it. I'm going to have, for example, a proper return for myself. So think about time. Think long term. Don't think just about right now. Think about what you're doing right now for the long run and enjoy the journey. Now, number 3 is you don't understand probabilities. Everyone knows this. Lottery tickets are a terrible investment. Who buys lottery tickets? Broke people. On average, they spend around $400 a year. Now, the idea is, if I'm gonna basically spend $2 to have the chance to win $1 billion, it sounds like a good deal. But when the probability is basically 1 in a zillion, it's a terrible deal because all you're doing is basically throwing that money away. The best thing you can do is play the games with the highest probability that you will have success. And when you play those games, everything changes. So instead of thinking, for example, well, $2, 1 billion, 1 in a zillion odds, the answer is I think, hey, I can put in $1, it grows by 12% in the stock market, I can get this career, I can invest into this property. Those are things that are a lot more manageable where the odds are always going to be in your favor. Always remember, probabilities are everything. And cost of opportunity is also very important because whenever you throw money away into something that has very low odds of making you any money, like I bought Bitcoin, I bought this crazy stock, oh, this one's gonna go up, whatever. When you put that money there, that's money you could have put somewhere else to make you a constant amount of money for the long term. When, again, it all comes back down to short-term mentality. That's not what you wanna have. Number 4, you don't understand the value of knowledge. Do you know this? Rich people write books about how they got rich. So why don't people read those books? People that have successful marriages write books about how to have successful marriages. Why not read those books? People that have kids write books about how to raise kids properly. The idea is, that's awesome. Knowledge is power. It really is. So when you don't know something, don't think you're stupid because you're not stupid. You just don't know. Because at a certain level, when I was first getting started, I thought I was stupid, but when you don't know, you don't know. So the best thing you can do is, whether you like it or you don't like it, like Jim Rohn says, is get into the habit of getting smarter. And Charlie Munger, a very rich guy too, says all the time, your job in this planet is to every single day remove a piece of ignorance. And the way you remove that is by learning more, step by step. And by the way, I do want to say one thing. I used to be able to have the ability to say, oh, I don't know where to go to get this knowledge. Oh, they didn't teach it to me in high school. Oh, it's boring. The answer is now we have YouTube. Like, you can have a guy like me tell you about complex topics in a very entertaining way, in a sense. You can go on Google, search things up. You can have very exciting books. You can have courses. There are so many options as far as, for example, the way to educate yourself. So use them. Use every single one of them. Now, number 5 is you don't understand the value of time. Now, before, when I mentioned time, I meant it in the context of, for example, time is going to pass either way. Invest your time doing things that are going to basically give you a proper return by having a long-term perspective. But when it comes to value in time here, I mean, for example, if you have a car, and when you get into your car, it's very fancy, it's very nice, but again, it's the only car you're ever going to drive in a lifetime. And you have, for example, this fuel tank. Now, this fuel tank is all the miles you're going to be able to drive in the lifetime of this car too. So you see the fuel tank, it starts at F, full, and it has all the way to E, empty. How exactly are you going to use that fuel? Probably very efficiently. You're not going to waste time doing something you shouldn't be doing. Going to this place has no benefit for you. The answer is you will be very precise about where you're going to go in that car to spend that time and to spend that gas. The same thing is when it comes to your time. Take it very seriously because time is everything. Again, I always mention the same study because it's so impressive. The average person spends like 7 to 8 hours, basically a day almost, when it comes to watching TV. That's crazy. People know everything about the latest Netflix show, whether it's for, I can't mention a few of them, like the Stranger Things ones, like you know everything about that. What do you know about your investments, your retirement accounts? I don't care if you know about that, but I also care that you know about money and what are you doing with it. So overall, it's not to say, for example, when it comes to time, everything is about money. No, when it comes to time is, hey, value your time in the sense that I want to use my time for my health. I want to use my time for my wealth. I want to use my time for my family, my friends, my relationships. I want to use my time to make myself happy, my time with God. All that stuff, put it in there. Be very, very precise about how you value time. A simple step is this. Go throughout a day and grab a little notebook of some kind and just write down from the time you wake up to the time you go to sleep, what do you spend your time in, okay? And write that down, write that down. And once you see it the next day, I want you to basically say, what can you improve in? And you take the things you don't want and then you make a new schedule and you try to become better at it every single day. It's not gonna be perfect, things will pop up, but you'll be a lot better than the average person for sure. Number 6, you don't value consistency and compound interest. One person puts an egg in a basket for 30 years and have this basket overflowing with eggs. And once they get there, everyone's like, oh my gosh, he has so much eggs, it's so cool. But people forget he put an egg in that basket for 30 years. Now, another person plays a game and wins a basket filled with eggs, and people say, I'd rather do that because that's a lot faster. But what they don't tell you is that that person played that game along with a million people, and he was the only person that won. The other 999,999 people, whatever, the answer is they didn't win whatsoever. Again, always remember, be careful with the games you play. It's better to be consistent investing a small amount of money than to be inconsistent investing a large amount of money, because compound interest really has a massive effect when it comes to your investments. Now, I'm gonna give you guys number 7 in just a second, but if you made it all the way to this point of the video, I want you guys to comment down below, broke, no more. So I know you made it all the way to the end of the video. And again, the minute you stop being broke is not when you have a dollar amount in your bank account, it's when you make the decision to make that change. The man changes his mind first, and then his life around him starts to follow that trend of who that person is. It's like I became healthy when I said I was going to be healthy, and then my mind followed and my body followed right after with my actions. It's actually a very powerful thing. It's a great book on that. It's called what is it called? As a Man Thinketh. And it's a great book. You need to read that, okay? But number 7, and the last one here is, you're waiting for things to change. I don't know how many people are waiting for the market to change, for interest rates to go down, for interest rates to go up, for the market to get more expensive, for it to get, for example, less expensive, all this stuff, you know. That's a problem. You see, things will only change for you once you start to change, because the world, in a sense, is almost like reactive. So if you stay the same, waiting for it to change, it won't change whatsoever. But when you change, the world around you automatically has to change step by step. A very good example here is, if you've been ever in a relationship, you probably know this. If you have, for example, a problem with the person you're with, and you are like, I'm gonna stay the way I am until they change this way, in reality, it's probably never going to work. Change only starts after you begin to change, because that's all you can control, yourself. And once you change, your results change also, and then just maybe that person might also change. But your circumstances are all based on you. And one last thing I want to leave you guys with is this, okay? If you want extraordinary results, you're gonna have to do extraordinary things. But it's very important you don't base success on what other people have or achieve, based on what you want. Whatever I said in this video, forget about it. Doubt it. Don't believe me. Go research it. Do your own homework and then make up your own mind. Don't be a follower. Don't just follow me blindly, okay? Because who knows where I'm going to end up. It's a long time. I know I'm going to end up because I got my own plans, okay? But overall, my point is get into the habit of questioning everything and making up your own mind, okay? Guys, thanks for watching. As always, like, subscribe, hit the bell so you're notified. Comment down below, broke? No more! So I know you made it all the way to the end of the video. Also, subscribe. Appreciate it a ton. Up here is another video. Over here is my face. Click and subscribe. And as always, long-term team officially out. Welcome to the family.